What's going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and today we have a very busy episode here in the Detroit Lions franchise, recapping the all-season stream we had on Saturday, and then going through the whole preseason. We have 2 games of action along with 2 simulated games. So first things first, we had only one player go up in development trait. That is Kerryon Johnson, who went from Superstar up to Superstar X-Factor, and his X-Factor ability is First 1-3, which I'd say is one of the better ones for running back, so I am not complaining. Looking at the Super Bowl, the Baltimore Ravens won it by a score of 38-28 over the New Orleans Saints. Now on to retirements. We had a big one and a surprising one. Geno Atkins has decided to retire. This one came out of left field for me. He still has a lot left in the tank. He still had a year left in his contract, so I'm very surprised to see him retire. I expected him to be a starter next year. So I'm shocked to see him go. So that's quite a big loss for us. Only going after 2 players in re-signings, Matt Prater and Darius Slay. Slay accepts, Prater does not. We are letting a few of our starters go, including Quandre Diggs, so I'm open to re-signing in the open market, along with Deshaun Hand, and I don't really want to sign Hand for what he's asking for. So we're going to be making a trade here, and as a Lions fan, this one hurts me to do, but I think it's for the best. Matthew Stafford, along with Jalen Richard, have been traded to the Chargers for Jerry Tillery and a 4th. We need a Geno Atkins replacement for this season, and Stafford's making too much. So we're going after Harrison Smith, David Johnson, David Onyemata, Matt Prater, and Phillip Rivers. Everybody accepts except for David Johnson, but I'm really excited about getting Harrison Smith. We don't have to be tortured when we play the Vikings twice a year. So we have a pair of 5th-year options. One of them is for T.J. Hawkinson. That one will obviously be extended. And the other one is going to be for Jerry Tillery. And I had to think about this one for a little bit, but I don't think we're going to give it to him. He only has normal development, and he hasn't been that good with the Chargers. So if he's really good, we can re-sign him, but I don't think that's probably best now. So one of a draft, Packers select cornerback Devon Dobbins, number 1 overall. So we're going to have to play him twice a year. It was fun having the Packers be really bad this year. They started off like 0-13, I think. They won 2 of their last 3, but still, the Packers at 0-13 makes me smile. Eagles pick a tight end at 8. Lions fans know about that all too well. And then another tight end goes in the top 10. And at pick 11, the Raiders pick Aaron Denman from Illinois. He is my first target, per se, who's gone off the board. And then my second target, Neville Miller, goes to the Cardinals that I believe pick 15. So there's one guy I really want left. That's defensive tackle Melvin Harris, also out of Illinois. Quite the coincidence. His quarterback Kent Fields gets drafted at 19 of the Bengals. And we're getting awfully close to our pick. Gotta watch out for Melvin Harris. Will Key goes off the board. I was looking at him. So now I kind of want to trade up with the Titans. I'm going to offer a 1, a 4, and a 5. They say no. So there would be no deal done here. And let me just say, my live reaction to these next 2 picks was quite something. Do not pick him, Titans. And they pick Johnny Jordan, linebacker from Texas Southern. Let's go. Browns. We were 1 pick away. You've got to be kidding. So Melvin Harris getting picked there is a massive surprise to me. He was a 2nd-round projection. I knew there was a chance he'd go, but now there's nobody I want. There's literally nobody who I think would really benefit this team with this selection, and now I'm kind of stuck on what to do. So the first thing I would try to do is I'm going to try to trade down. And I wanted to get some offers flowing. However, I had a lot of trouble. And while I wanted to trade down, I also didn't want to get ripped off, and there was no possible way of that happening. So we're not going to go over some of the trade offers. So there are 3 interesting wide receivers here. Donovan Gates, Trevon Imatorbebe, and Lawrence Parnell. We have a good receiving core, but those are like the only 3 good players on the board. So I think it's a good idea to maybe explore some trades. Going to try to get Tre'Davious White. That didn't work. Maybe Josh Allen, the pass rusher from the Jaguars. They say no. How about Malik Wilson III, an edge rusher in his 2nd year out of Kansas, I believe. They say no. I even added Taylor Decker, and it's not going to happen. So then I come across 2 names that intrigue me. Quinnen Williams and Ed Oliver. We kind of went off after Quinnen Williams last year at the trade deadline. Couldn't get a deal done, but I think we were close. But we are going to make a deal here for Ed Oliver, sending Freddie Bonner-Sanders, David Onyemata, and Duvon Mann. Ed Oliver has been pretty inconsistent with the Bills. I don't think they gave him the fifth-year team option, so if you're more than willing to trade him, they're getting a potential superstar receiver in Bonner-Sanders. The only problem with him is the off-the-field drama. Also, they can replace Oliver with Onyemata for the time being, and Duvon Mann's a young middle linebacker with some potential. So now that we've traded Bonner-Sanders, now we kind of need a receiver, and of the three guys I looked at, I was most intrigued by Lawrence Parnell, and I think the chat, for the most part, agreed. So that's who we would end up going with the 27th pick, wide receiver Lawrence Parnell out of Louisville. If you told me when I started the stream I was going to pick a wide receiver in the first round, I would laugh at you. But here we are. And he ends up being a 75 overall with hidden development, the number 10 player in the class, and I'd say this is a massive win. 95 speed, I believe he was the fastest player in the entire draft. So, a few interesting picks in the second round, including quarterback Luis Salazar to the Vikings. He'll be their day one starter over Antoine Nan, and we'll get to play Salazar twice a year. I had a target in round 2. We're not going to risk him getting picked. So my 59th selection, along with a 4th rounder in Ezekiel Ansah, will get us the 43rd pick from the Oakland Raiders. And we're going with edge rusher Mike Renwick from Illinois. He is a 74 overall with hidden development. So, good pick right there. I got who I wanted, and I think that ended up being quite a good selection. So, we did not have a 3rd round pick from the Geno Atkins trade at the deadline. We do have a few 4th rounders. Our first one's going to be on guard Raymond Person out of, I believe, SMU. He is a 70 with normal, so he'll be good depth. And then we had the very next selection, and I wanted to pick a quarterback. We need a long-term backup for Tez Lawson. So the best one on the board is Le'Veon Worrell from Penn State. He ends up being a 63 with normal. I'm not too mad at this pick. He'll be the 3rd stringer this year, likely behind Tez and Phillip Rivers. And assuming Rivers is gone next year, he will likely be the backup. So a gem I found late in scouting was an edge rusher out of Oregon named Jaquavius Highsmith. We pick him here late in the 4th. He is a 74 with hidden. What an absolute steal. And then speaking of steals, our next pick would be on linebacker Owen Jackson, the Westlake legend. He's a 73 with hidden. That hidden may or may not be Superstar X Factor. I mean, come on. Owen Jackson's a channel legend. He was an absolute beast in our Westlake dynasty, so I kind of had to give it to him. Next pick, Forrest Jones, defensive lineman from Ohio. He is a 63. And then our final selection, Raheem Slap'em Cheeks. He is a 57 overall, nothing too special at safety. So final look at our draft class, Lawrence Parnell, wide receiver. Mike Renwick, edge rusher. We got a guard in Raymond Person, quarterback Le'Veon Worrell. Edge rusher Jaquavius Highsmith, one of the biggest steals of the draft. Then we got another steal in Owen Hitstick Jackson. And then our last 2 picks, Forrest Jones and Raheem Cheek, are pretty much depth guys. So, I wanted to sign David Johnson because he did not get picked up in the offseason, but he wasn't there. So, might have to trade for a change of pace back. Here's a look at the schedule. We're going to be facing the Dolphins week 1, which I'm excited about. Tez Lawson was the 2nd quarterback drafted last year. The first one, Noah Curry, is on the Dolphins, who ended up winning AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. So we're going to get a Tez versus Noah Curry week 1 battle, which really excites me. And then we are going to be making one final trade. A 4th in Austin Bryant will get us Miles Sanders from the Eagles. So he will be the change of pace back. And here we are. That is all from the stream. And now all of this is totally new and nobody knows about it until now, I guess. So I went after a few undrafted free agents, and here they are. There are some decent players in here. Some guys who could make the final roster or at least make the practice squad. And the best of the group, I would say, would have to be guard Devon McCullough. He is a 69, nice, with normal development, and he'd be perfect depth along the offensive line. 69 for backup is no slouch. So here's the depth chart we're going to be working with for preseason. And as you can see, we are starting pretty much none of our starters outside of the rookies. That's literally it. None of these guys are regular starters. We do not want our guys getting hurt because I would say we are Super Bowl contenders. We're not trying to risk anything right now. So none of our actual position players who are starters outside of the rookies, once again, will be getting much playing time. So Phillip Rivers and Le'Veon Bell will be splitting time for the most part at quarterback. And I want to see who will be the backup this year. Probably Phillip Rivers, but maybe Worrell plays really well. Running back will be Miles Sanders. I'm really intrigued by him. I want to get him a decent amount of carries this year, and I want to use him more than I use Jalen Richard. Kerryon has been injury-prone in the past, and I want to sort of tone down on his carries. Nick Bawden will still be the fullback. I guess that's not changing. Wide receiver, Lawrence Parnell should be the number 3 receiver, unless Dwayne Stuber plays really well in the preseason. And knowing this receiving core, Stuber's going to have to play like 8 games this year, whether there's injuries or suspensions. He'll find a way in the lineup. Tight end will be Isaac Nada, along with Cordavius Finley and Vincent Clifton. They'll be fighting for roster spots behind Hawkinson. The O-line, once again, none of these guys are starters. We want to play some of the young dudes, see what they're made of. Marshall King, certainly a lot of upside with him. He is star dev. On to the defense, Jaquavius Highsmith will get a ton of playing time. He could be a starter. He could. Same with Jerry. I mean, Jerry Tillery is not really going to be a starter because he's behind Ed Oliver, and we didn't really use our number 2 D tackle a lot last year, so Tillery won't get that much playing time, but he'll play a little bit this year. Renwick will be competing for a starting job. Owen Jackson probably won't start this year, but I do want to get him on the field a decent bit. And right outside, going with Peter Carney, who has superstar development, gem in the late rounds in our first draft. And I've had trouble getting Carney a lot of playing time, but with Duvon Mann gone, maybe that could help him. Corner, we're not starting our main 3 of Darius Slay, Chidobe Awuzie, and Justin Coleman. So that means Amani Oruwariye will be the main corner. Safety will be Damon Tharp and Raheem Cheek throughout the preseason. We're not even going to be playing Sharding Budga, who isn't technically a starter. That's how cautious we're going to be this preseason. Budga plays a lot of sub-linebacker. He plays, I would say, over 50% of the down, so that's why we're not starting him. And then kick and punt returner, it's been Agnew since the start of the series, but we're going to see if Lawrence Parnell can give him a run for his money, as Agnew's pretty much on the roster only because of his kick returning abilities, not because of his secondary play. So if Lawrence Parnell outperforms Agnew in the preseason, Jamal Agnew could be a surprise cut for this team. As here's a look at the specialist positions and then the rush defensive linemen. Common theme here with me not playing anyone good per se outside of the rookies. A few of the starters found a way to get playing time. Harrison Smith was like the sub linebacker number 2, and he got a ton of time. I don't know why, because if you see sub linebacker, he's not there, but whatever. So here we go. Week 1 of the preseason set to kick off as the Detroit Lions are going to be facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, the preseason schedule is always the same in Madden every year. They've never bothered to change it. I don't know why. But yeah, we have to play the Bucs week 1 every year of the preseason. We also have to play Washington, Chicago, and Green Bay. Kind of annoying having 2 divisional teams in there. Anyway, 3rd and 9. Here's Phillip Rivers way overthrowing Miles Sanders. And he's going to get picked off by Sean Murphy Bunting. The quarterback play in this game for the Lions was not pretty. But I guess it's a good thing that Tez Lawson is the starter. As here's the Bucs. Good start to the drive as Duke Johnson, the free agent acquisition, gains 10. And then from the 39, famous Jameis still at the helm at quarterback. He's going to be sacked by Jaquavius Highsmith, the 4th-round rookie out of Oregon, making a quick impact here in this one. Now a 3rd and 12. Here's famous Jameis. He's going to get picked off by Amani Oruwariye, showing off his inner Marshawn Lynch. He does not want to be tackled, and he will take it the distance for a Lions touchdown. Here we are in August of 2022, and Jameis Winston is still throwing pick 6 like it's nothing. Bucs have it back as Howard loses 2, courteous of Peter Carney, along with another defender there. 2nd and 13. There's a nice pass from Jameis Winston, and the defender had to take a while to catch up to him. That'll be a gain of 32 for Tampa Bay. And then from the 12, Winston trying to get it to Mike Evans here on 3rd down. However, the pass would be deflected, so that'll force the field goal unit here. The kick would be good. So Tampa Bay cuts the lead down, making it 7-3 as there's Sellers with the kick. So now third down for Detroit. Phillip Rivers yet to have a completion. And once again, awful throw from Phillip Rivers. That would have been an easy first down had it been on the money. So the Buccaneers have it back. Third down for Tampa Bay is Jameis on the screen, trying to get it to Jordan Howard. But the Lions are right there as multiple defenders in the area to make the play, including the rookie Mike Renwick. And then third and inches, here's Miles Sanders with a nice run of about 10 yards. Curious to see what he can do this preseason and do this season in general. Second down, back to Sanders. This time he does not get as lucky. That's Devin White, the fourth-year man out of LSU with the tackle. And then third and 11, Le'Veon Worrell checking into the game. And his passes don't look much better than Phillip Rivers's. Jack Jackson now into the game for the Bucs. His pass is about 20 yards underthrown. And there's Braden Lamb, the former undrafted corner, now in his second year at the interception. Braden Lamb was on the Lions practice squad last year, hoping to get a final roster spot this year. Then first and goal, Leonard Worrell trying to scramble. He can move outside the pocket unlike Rivers, but you know what he can't do? Hold on to the ball, as it's jarred loose and Jabal Sheard picks it up. So Braden Lamb getting inside the 5 means absolutely nothing to this offense, and the Bucs have it back, as here's Jack Jackson. Of course, the older brother of Lions linebacker Owen Jackson, as his pass on third down would be deflected. To be fair, Jack was not a whole lot better than these Lions QBs, as here's Ty Johnson on a nice run. If he juked out that last defender, he would have been gone. Johnson, another running back competing for a roster spot this year. Second down, the first pass completion of the game for Detroit. The Lions quarterbacks are a combined 1 for 9 after that. And then fourth and 1, Detroit going to try to punch it in with Sanders, and the side judge says no. So the Bucs get it back. Here's Jack Jackson on the option. Sharonine Budka forces the ball out, and Mike Renwick, the rookie out of Illinois, will pick it up, as it has been turnover mayhem. This game has been the pure definition of preseason football. Absolutely terrible, as there's a nice pass over to Raheem Martin, the undrafted wide receiver out of BYU, trying to potentially make a roster spot, follow into the shoes of guys like Dwayne Stuber. And then first and goal, Miles Sanders untouched like weekend homework for the Lions. Touchdown, in Detroit will now make it 14-3. But this is the least convincing 14-3 I've ever seen. Lions playing duck, duck, goose. The goose ends up being Lawrence Purnell, which is weird because Parnell is the fastest player in that duck, duck, goose circle by a mile. I don't know why Sanders chose him, but whatever. First and 14. Don't get to see that every day. And you know what else you don't get to see every day? Beautiful throws like that being overthrown. That is what this game has been all about. Second and 2. Here's Le'Veon Worrell, the fourth-round rookie out of Penn State. He's going to get picked off as trying to get it short. However, Lucas Dennis will intercept it, and this ugly game will keep on getting uglier. Second down, screen pass from Jack Jackson into the hands of Jordan Howard, who is going to be brought down at the 1 by Sharonine Budka, as that'll be a nice gain of 25. That's actually Nyheim Hines, not Jordan Howard. My apologies. Nice play from Nyheim Hines, and then the Bucs do get the touchdown, as just like that, Duke Johnson will cut the lead down to 4. 14-10, here's Worrell scrambling like he's late on a date. However, he will be sacked, as once again, that's Devin White with the tackle. Second and 19, Worrell, short pass over to Lawrence Parnell, the rookie. His first career catch, and one of the big reasons why the Lions drafted him is his ability after the catch, showing it on that play, turning a gain of 8 into a gain of like 20. And then a nice pass from Royal up the middle, just a little over to Jose St. Louis. Lions are driving down the field very nicely. There's Lawrence Parnell once again, the former Louisville Cardinal. Lions moving it down the field very nicely. First and goal for Le'Veon Worrell. Not much time left in the half, is a risky pass over to Dwayne Stuber. That'll be a Detroit touchdown, and the Lions once again will make an 11-point lead as we head on to the second half. Jack Jackson on the read option. Lions read that one pretty well. Mike Renwick forces the ball out. P.J. Johnson will recover, And the Lions have it inside the 5. Second and goal from the 1. Detroit going to try to punch it in as Lawrence Parnell loses 4 on the run. Actually, he only lost 3. Anthony Nelson with the tackle for loss. And then third and goal, Sanders loses 6. Once again, Anthony Nelson there with the tackle for loss. So here's Matt Prater. He's 38. He's getting up there, but he's still drilling his kicks as that one goes right down Main Street. Lions make it 24-10. So the Bucs are going with 3 offensive linemen here. I think they're trying to pull off an Indianapolis Colts, and it works as well as you would expect it to. Broughton loses 6. That's Jaquavius Highsmith with the tackle for loss. And then third and long, wide open down the field. Awful coverage from Chris Johnson, not to be mistaken with the former Tennessee Titan running back, as Broughton was the one who made the play there. So now 4th and 7 from the 8. Bucs just going to take the points as the kick from Sellers is good. Tampa Bay down by 11 once again. So 2nd and 1 here for Detroit. Le'Veon Worrell will be sacked by Obi Melifonwu, the former UConn Husky. And then 4th and 3 for midfield. The Lions don't have anything to lose. It's the preseason, as Le'Veon Worrell could have easily ran for the first down. Instead, he tries to go for the pass to Lawrence Parnell, and it's about 10 yards off. So now the Bucs get it back. They're going to go for a 53-yard kick, and Sellers absolutely drills it. Tampa Bay only down by 8 now. Technically, it's a one-possession game. 3rd and 7. Le'Veon Worrell does about what you would expect him to do with it. Easy first down, but it's a bad pass. Lions fans are just excited to see Tez Lawson back in action, as on first down, the cornerback there, Braden Lamb, got absolutely burned. Nice play from the Bucs. And then 3rd and inches, Triple J, Jack Jackson, is almost intercepted. That ball was right in the hands of the defender. I think that was Jared Davis. Davis is a regular starter, but sort of like Harrison Smith and the sub-linebacker thing, he got some playing time in this one. 4th and inches, the fullback, Trey Madden, will run for the first down. Now 2nd down. Jackson up the middle just a little. That pass will bring it inside the 5 as Jackson starting to play a little bit better in this one. Now a 3rd and goal from the 10. Here's Jackson. Going to try to move with it, and the pass will be incomplete. Broken up by Chris Johnson. So now 4th and goal. Tampa Bay is just going to go for the field goal once again to make it a 5-point game, and Sellers will make it. So Tampa Bay is clawing back into this game. They're making it close, but the Lions still have control. 3rd and 9. Wash, rinse, repeat. Am I right? Le'Veon Worrell with another bad throw, and it's incomplete. As the Lions quarterbacks are pretty much handing the Bucs the game at this point. I don't know how Tampa Bay isn't winning by 50. First down. Screen for Nyheim Hines. It's read like a book. Jelani Tavai and friends there at the tackle. And sort of like Davis, sort of like Harrison Smith. Tavai is a regular starter, but the sub-linebacker thing is weird. So here returns the Lions. Miles Sanders fumbles the football. Maurice Kennedy picks it up. And the Bucs have finally taken the lead. And I say finally because they should have taken the lead way earlier, for Christ's sakes. Gonna go for 2 as Jack Jackson throws into the back of the end zone. And Tampa Bay is only up by 1. Can Le'Veon Worrell lead a game-winning drive? 3rd down and 10. What else would you expect but a pass that's about 15 yards off? Incomplete. Lions would decide to punt it, as on 3rd down, I don't know what kind of coverage that was. The receiver probably had about 20 yards with no one near him. And then 3rd and 3. Bucs chewing the clock. First down pretty much ends the game. Harrison Smith gets baited on the coverage as Nyheim Hines brings it to the 26. And now the Bucs, all they need is a first down, and then this game is officially over. And they would get just that as Nyheim Hines, the former Colt, bringing it to the 9-yard line. That's all she wrote. Tampa Bay looks like they're going to get the win, but they're still running out the clock for some reason. 3rd and goal. The Lions get called for a face mask, and that's how they lose the game. The offense was not good. Le'Veon Worrell and Phillip Rivers sucked. Miles Sanders made some nice plays. I know the 2.1 yards per carry isn't necessarily attractive, however. Lawrence Parnell did the most he could with the bad quarterback play. I think Parnell was pretty good in the 2 catches he did make. The O-line wasn't that bad, at least the pass blocking wise. We did not allow too many sacks. However, I would say that the run blocking wasn't good. Peter Carney played well, 4 tackles for loss. So I'm going to simulate the next 2 preseason games as we lose to the Redskins 28-7. Looks like Le'Veon Worrell and Phillip Rivers didn't do too much better in this game either, so that's fun. Miles Sanders, 1.7 yards per carry. Receiving, Dwayne Stuber was the leading receiver with 33 yards. Lawrence Parnell with 15. Tammany Glover allows 2 sacks. Uwariye leads in tackles with 10. 3 tackles for loss, though, for Jaquavius Highsmith. And then a sack for Mike Renwick. So both of the edge rushers competing for a starting job, they're going to make that decision hard because they're both playing really well. Bears dropped 28 points in the second quarter, winning 49-23. 4 touchdowns for Mitchell Trubisky. Worrell and Rivers, once again, don't play too well. Worrell probably a little bit better in this one. Running the ball, 1.8 yards per carry this time for Miles Sanders. Zach Zenner does get a touchdown. Travis Fulgham, the leading receiver. Parnell, only 32 receiving yards. Only allowed 1 sack, though. That's pretty good, especially considering we had to play Khalil Mack. Owen Jackson, not too bad. Half a sack for Mike Renwick, along with Chris Johnson. So here we go. Final game of the preseason. The 0-3 Detroit Lions trying to get at least 1 preseason win. For heading up to Lambeau, the frozen tundra, to take on the 1-2 Green Bay Packers. As I'm sure the Lions would just love to beat the brakes off of these punks, am I right? And obviously this is a big game for Detroit because you got to see who's going to make the final roster, who's going to get cut, who's going to start. So this game will be very telling for some positions. Third down, here's Phillip Rivers, who should get some extended playing time in this one. Nice pass over to Miles Sanders. However, the hit from Blake Martinez jars the ball out. So here's the Packers offense. We'll get to see a quarter of Aaron Rodgers in this game as he's going to be intercepted by Fisher. That's the undrafted rookie out of Washington, I believe. Darvarius Fisher, I think his name is. Nice play right there against a veteran quarterback in A-Rod. The Packers would answer right back as Isaac Nada drops it, and it's picked off, and it looks like this one's going the distance. Isaac Nada with a really rough game in this one. He dropped about 4 passes, as that's an easy pick 6 for Devon Dobbins, the number 1 overall pick out of North Carolina, showing that he can be a future star corner in this league. Third down, Phillip Rivers getting it to Dwayne Stuber, who fumbles the football, and it'll be picked up by Green Bay. As there's Tyrone Crawford who recovers it, and the Lions offense still looks absolutely atrocious. This offense has been really bad so far here in the preseason, as Aaron Jones running backwards, trying to do loop-de-loops. I don't know what the hell he's doing, and he eventually does lose 4. Nice tackle for Detroit. So now 4th and 3. Here is the field goal unit to come ahead and make it a 10-point lead. The kick is good. So the Packers are now up 10-0, as that's the veteran Graham Gano making the kick. So Lions have it back. Let's see what Phillip Rivers is made of. Does the old man still have a little bit of juice left in the tank? As Rivers is going to try to scramble, he flips it to Nada, who drops the wide-open pass. Isaac Nada, have yourself a game. Not really, because he was absolutely trash. Second down, though. Nice pass up the middle, just a little over to Nick Bawden. Unlike Nada, Bawden's able to hold on to it. So now it's 2nd and 1. Rivers will, once again, play fake, looking to throw it. He has an open man deep, and it's Isaac Nada who makes a big catch. If he dropped that ball, I think he would have been cut in the stadium. And there's still a good chance he gets cut. Now from the 15, Lions moving it down the field pretty nicely. And right as I say that, Za'Darius Smith comes in and gets the sack. Now a 3rd and 13, Phillip Rivers. Nice play over to Travis Fulgham for the touchdown. As Fulgham competing for a roster spot, he will likely be the number 5 receiver this coming season. I believe he's been the number 5 receiver pretty much his whole career. 2nd and 8, new players in for Green Bay. There's William Connor, the backup quarterback, with a nice play, gaining 22. And then a 2nd and 11 from the 49. Connor, short pass over to the fullback. And I don't know what 36 was doing there. He had the easy tackle, but he was unable to get it. So now 4th and 1. Here's a 43-yard field goal from Graham Gano. He will make the kick. And the Packers are now up by 6. So Detroit has it back. 3rd down and 7. Phillip Rivers on the screen pass from Miles Sanders. Nice play from Sanders as he's able to gain extra yardage, bringing it to about the 37. And then very next play, 1st down from the 37. Here's Phillip Rivers Another nice pass. This time it's to the rookie Lawrence Parnell. And what a game Parnell had. You'll get to see more of him in just a little bit. 2nd and 2. Rivers over to Lawrence Parnell for his first career touchdown. I know it's the preseason and it technically doesn't count as a touchdown, but whatever. Nonetheless, that'll make the new kid feel good. So now it's 14-13. Got a flag there, pass interference, as the Zebras, the refs, whatever you want to call them, you know they're going to be extra kind of the Packers whenever they get the chance to. That's Braden Lamb called for the PI. And then 2nd and 6. Nice little run for Green Bay. That's Woody, not to be mistaken with the character in Toy Story, with a first down. Now 2nd and 10. About a little bit under 3 minutes left to go, I should say, as Woody loses a yard. There's Harrison Smith. That's not Harrison Smith. That is someone else with the tackle. I cannot tell who, though. It's now 4th and 11. Graham Gano going to go for another kick. This one is wide right. It is also short. That's what she said, is the kick is no good. And the Lions still up by 1, as here's Miles Sanders trying to make a nice stiff arm. That'll be a first down and more. Luckily for Sanders, he did not finish with less than 2 yards per carry in this game. A rarity if you look at the rest of his preseason numbers. 2nd and 2. Rivers gets it to Lawrence Parnell, who makes a nice play, gaining 19. And the Lions are moving closer and closer to the end zone. First down, Rivers gets this one to Martin, who's going to fight his way in. Raheem Martin for the touchdown. And the Lions will make it 21-13. Bears have it back. No, the Packers have it back. We're on the NFC North team. First down. There's Trey Flowers with the sack. Flowers also got a little bit of playing time as a rotational defensive lineman this preseason. Obviously, he'll be a main starter this year. Is on 3rd and 1. Elijah Penny wrapped up in the backfield for Mike Renwick. Nice play from Renwick as he gets the tackle. He's been a little bit more consistent than Highsmith here in the preseason, but both of them have been really, really good. 2nd and 6. There is Cheek with the sack. The initials are R. Cheek. Same initials as Lions backup safety Raheem Cheek. As there's a nice first down for the fullback once again. And then 3rd and 1. Packers going to get the touchdown. Nice pass from William Connor. But there is a penalty flag, and for once, the refs will make a call against the Packers, holding on Brett Armstrong. So now it's a 3rd and 11. Screen pass. Owen Jackson is right there. He loved reading those screen passes when he was in Westlake. Had a few pick sixes with them, as Gano makes the field goal, making it 21-16. So this is where things get fun. Here's Le'Veon Worrell on first down. Gets it to Parnell. Woo! Nice little juke move, and he's going to put on the Jets. Lawrence Parnell with a 75-yard touchdown. This is why the Lions drafted him in the first round. This is why Freddie Bonner Sanders was traded, not because of the domestic abuse reasons, but because of this kid. He's been kind of quiet these past 3 weeks, and it's mainly been because of the bad QB play. And now he actually gets a pass near him, and he's going to make a play because of it. 28-16 now. Owen Jackson with another nice play as he continues to play well in this preseason. Not sure how the Lions are going to get him playing time, but I'm sure they'd like to give him some time this season. 2nd down. Nice play from William Connor and the Packers as they try to move downfield. The Lions secondary, is mainly the cornerback room, looked very uninspiring this preseason. Luckily, Chidobe Awuzie, Darius Slay, and Justin Coleman are not among those struggling defensive backs, as Harrison Smith makes a play right there. And then 4th and 9, Packers come for the field goal. Gano makes it. I don't get that play call one bit from Matt LaFleur. I would have gone for it. So now it's a 9-point game. Here's Lawrence Parnell with another big play. Not quite going to get the touchdown, as 56 is right there in the nick of time to make a tackle. But still, Lawrence Parnell is red hot. Le'Veon Worrell is like 2 for 3 with 104 passing yards at this point, and he's going to keep getting it to the hot hand as Lawrence Parnell brings it to the 1. This guy is unstoppable. I can't believe there are 2 receivers on this Lions team better than him. I mean, I guess it makes sense since those 2 receivers are Juju and Galladay. As there's Miles Sanders for the touchdown, and then the Lions going to go for 2, try to make it a 3-score game, as Zach Zenner, the top white running back in the NFL, gets stopped short. So it is still 34-19. 3rd and 5, short pass but the play will immediately be made by Peter Carney, forcing a loss of 3. 4th and 8, the Packers are going to have to go for it as William Connor's pass would be broken up by Chris Johnson. Johnson's a guy who looked like he was going to get cut, but that's a pretty big play right there, and maybe that one can help him keep his roster spot. 2nd and 12, Le'Veon Worrell with a nice pass over to guess who? Lawrence Parnell. I think ever since Worrell entered the game here in the second half, I think Parnell is the only receiver to touch the ball. And then 1st and goal, Miles Sanders untouched. Like weekend homework for the Lions touchdown. His 2nd rushing score of the day. And the Lions are now putting the beat down on Green Bay. 41-19, 4th and 10. Packers going for it all, and it is intercepted by Chris Johnson. Some will say that's a selfish play, but considering the Lions are just chewing the clock, I can't blame Johnson for that one. Maybe that'll help him get a roster spot. So Detroit's chewing the clock, and Miles Sanders fumbles it, recovered by Holloman, so the Packers would have a few more shots downfield. They did not get them, and the Lions will win their final preseason game, giving them a record of 1-3 here in this one. As Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns, easily his best preseason game. And then Lawrence Parnell, 7 catches, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That kid was an absolute animal. No one else really did a whole lot in the receiving game, but it's fine. When Lawrence Parnell is doing that, nobody else even needs to show up to the stadium. Nice game from the defense, too. Easily the best game this preseason for this Detroit squad. The defense wasn't awful outside of that Bears game, and then this was the first time that the offense was any good. So now let's take a look at preseason stats. Worrell and Rivers were both a mixed bag. Miles Sanders, meh. He won't be the starter, but he'll get a decent amount of carries this year. Zach Zenner and Ty Johnson each scored as well, so not too bad for them. Lawrence Parnell, those stats are kind of juiced after the Packer game, but still, I really like what we have in this kid. I think he is going to be an absolute star. Nobody else did a whole lot in the receiving game. Bunch of guys scored 1 touchdown. Galladay even got in there for a few catches. The offensive line, the pass blocking was actually quite good. The run blocking was suspect at times. That last game, though, against the Packers, the run blocking was great. Damon Tharp leads in tackles by a mile. Tackles for loss goes to 4 guys. Sack leaders, we got Mike Renwick with 1.5, Highsmith with 1, and then interceptions for Chris Johnson, Amani Oruwariye, and some other fools. So now on to cuts. Least favorite part of a preseason, but it has to be done. Emmanuel Sanchez Jr. will be moving to the practice squad. Davion McDowell will be moving to the practice squad. And practice squad kind of includes cuts. Jose St. Louis will be out of the job. He gets cut. There's Raheem Martin, the undrafted rookie. He's going to go to the practice squad, but I really like his potential. Vincent Clifton also going to the practice squad, so that leaves 7 players to go. Leonard Seamster, an undrafted rookie, is going to the practice squad. Clifton Tanley will just get cut outright. And there's Devon McCullough, the undrafted rookie, getting a full-on roster spot, so good for him making the team. Kevin Gilbert, right tackle, he's going to the practice squad. Looking at the defensive line, Traylon Jackson will be getting cut. At right end, Deontay Fryer going to the practice squad. Defensive tackle, all of those guys are going to get a roster spot. Linebackers will not be touched. And then on the secondary, there will be a few corners leaving as Benji Cash will be going to the practice squad. And then Chris Johnson will be joining him, meaning undrafted rookie Darvarius Fisher makes the final team. And then one more move will be made. Buck Donnelly, the kicker, will be getting cut. And for his place on the roster, we're going to sign Mike Gesicki. Isaac Nada is not the answer as the backup tight end, clearly. And Gesicki's a channel legend. He was a beast last year in the Dolphins series, so he'll be the main backup for Hawkinson. That'll do it for today's episode. The next one will be opening day, a premiere against the Miami Dolphins. I know this was a long one, about 39 minutes long, but if you made it to the end of the video, as my good buddy Perrin Crow says, you are the real MVP, and as always, have a good one.